Good evening, team. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope Zoom team can able to hear me. Just now we had conversation and just ping me YouTube team whether can able to hear me. So what we will do as usual, we will start with yesterday topic, a small recap, and then we will move on to today's topic. So yesterday we started one of the most important concept, that is oops concept. In that, the first one, object. So what is an object means? An entity that has state and behavior is known as object. Other words, it's again instance of the class. State here is considered as a variable and behavior is considered as a method. So first part we will focus on variables and later we'll come back for methods. Again, collection of all these objects is called class. Okay. So this is what theoretically we have seen it. And types of Java variables. The variables are classified into three types: instance, static, and a local variable. So instance variable, nothing but how to do those declarations inside the class, outside the method. So this is an example of instant variable. This instant variable values will be different from each object. In this example, we consider like a company. So every employee will have their own variables and its data. That's all fall under the instant variable. So this is the declaration phase. And the value of the variable changes from object to object. In sense, this is just now discussed. So my data, Praveen data, definitely the values will changes. That is why it is also called as object level variables. And then if we want to access a particular variable means we have to create the instance of the class. For that, the syntax is class name, object name, new, class name, constructor. So class name in this example is instance variable, and object name can be any name. In this example, I just named like employee one, and using the new keyword constructor. Constructor, again, it will be same like class name with this bracket. After creating this, with the help of the object dot, if we mention all the variables, all the method, it will display. This is how we have to do it. Same way, if we want to create for employee 2 means, we have to create one more instance of the object. So now in this example, on the team, okay. So for accessing, remember whenever you mention this object for the, maybe in this example, we have taken Praveen, that object name, if you mention dot, it will display both the variables, that is for employee 1 and employee 2. Don't get confused, especially first time while coding this. Always properly map your object and your variable. So this is employee name 2. Then employee ID 2. Since we declared here, within the class, it will display then employee salary 2. We are done with the coding. Let's execute this program. Yes, we can able to see the data of each employee, able to access it. So this is how we have to create the instance variable. And in the PPT, all the important points are mentioned. And this is one most important point. Always remember, while worrying about the instance variable, we must create the object instance to access the instance variable. Now the next type of variable is static variable. So this is also have some set of rules. We try to create a right click new class. So static variables. Public static void main finish. We'll use same data for now. So just as mentioned here. So these are all instance variable. We already knew it. And if we want to access this instance variable, same story. Class name, then object name equal to new class name constructor. Then same story will applicable. So I will reuse the code in this program so that the output we can able to see the difference between instant and static variable. So same thing here I mentioned. Now for one employee, let's focus. Now let's go to the rules. Declaration. The static variable. Again, let me put it here. First point, it will be declared inside the class and outside the method. It means in the same place only we will be declaring it. This is a static variable. So in yesterday class, I said there are some details which will be common for all the employee. So what you can do is you can declare that as a static. So instance means, for example, we can say like company name. So this is like an instance variable. Company name maybe equal to Google. So again, this is an instant variable. How to convert an instance variable to static is very simple. In front of the instance variable, if you mention static, then this variable will be considered as a static variable. Very simple. So only one keyword, if you mention it, the variable will be converted to static. And just see the small difference. The font of this, it will change to italics the second I mention the static variables. So that's how I will differentiate in the program when I try to access the variable. So it's a blue color means again it's an instance variable. Blue with an italic style means it's the static variable. The easiest way to differentiate it. Static, maybe int company registration number, just for some sake. So here, these are all called static variable. So first step is done. And second, it will be declared using static variable. That is also done. Third, single copy will be created at the class level. And fourth step, it is also known as class level variable. So what this exactly means is, while trying to access here, you don't need to create any instance of object. Directly, you can mention this particular variable. Like if you mention, it will print. Maybe I can say with some output message, company name is excuse me, company registration ID. So here, see the difference. If it is an instance variable, we have to create the instance of the object, and then using that object, we have to access it. But here, when it comes for the static, directly you can mention it. I'm going to execute. Yes, it is accessible. So that is why single copy will be declared at class level. It means all the employee can able to access this data. So if you consider a very big organization like 1 lakhs of employee, creating for all the employee one more time, initializing like an instance variable like string, company name, like that. Every employee, if we try to add it, it's totally waste of memory. We can able to avoid that just by making it as a static. The second you make it as a static, just single copy is created at the class level, everyone can able to access it. By this way, we can save a lot of memory space. And then again, due to this, it is also known as class level variable. In the previous, it deals with object, so it's an object level variable. This scope is like class level, so it is called class level variables. Same here also, by chance, if we are not declaring any value for int means the default value will be 0, for string means it is a null. So important takeaway point here is you no need to create the object instance. So that's the first point. Then this is that. So team, everyone clear, right? That able to understand the difference between. Okay. Thank you. Okay. If I've got any of that will be in the YouTube, but still. Tell me, everyone understood the difference between instance and static variables? Can message me. Okay, fine. So very simple. If any variables specific to those particular object, that is called instance variable. If it is common to everyone, then we call that as a static variable. Just remember the example, company, employee, some data is common for everyone, some data is specific to each employee. So that's how it's very easy to remember. Then the third one, local variables. So it's again easier one. Till now, whatever we have used, all the variables are local variables. So what is the meaning of public, static, void, main? These and all, if I tell now, it will confuse you. But now you can understand meaning of static. In sense, this is like class level. Okay, anyhow, we have a static method. At that time, you will get more clarity. As of now, we'll skip those meaning of it. But remember, this is a method, main method. So whenever we declare any value inside this, like in num1 equal to like 10, you can able to see it's in brown color. So again, this is called local variables. It is purely for temporary purpose, and very important point to remember about local variable is it can be used only within that method. If, for example, within this method, we are trying to printing it out, so we can able to see the output 10. For example, we have one more method. Java class will contain only one main method. It can have n number of other methods. So when we start executing, how it will find the starting point of the programmers, it will go and check, is there any public static void main method. So this is the starting point of the program. From here, it will just travel to every methods, so that you just remember as of now. Once we complete user defined method, you will get more clarity about this particular point. Just assume it's another method, sample method. Leave about the syntax. Like this, there is a one more method. Inside that, maybe num2, I'm just declaring 20, sysout num2. The same rule, whatever the rule here is, declaration inside the method. Let's discuss one by one. First one, declaration inside the method. One example. This is another example. And second point, must be must place a declaration before the first statement that actually uses the variable. In sense, it should be declared above the top, and then only we should use it. It should not be like reverse way. Declaring bottom but trying to access that at the top means it will throw the error. It will say like there is no variable like that, try to create it. So remember the second point, must place in the top. And third point, it will be created while executing. It will be created while executing the block in which we declare it. So whenever this particular method is called, only at that time, the memory allocation of this variable will happen. Then once this execution is completed, when it comes out of it, this particular variable object will be cleared, erased. It will not be available. So what that means is, when this is executing, it will be num2 equal to 22. The control come out of this loop, this value will be erased. And we can't access this variable outside and this outside this method. For example, here you're trying to access num2, this variable. This variable is this inside this method, but you're trying to access it outside this method means it will throw the error. Create a local variable. So this is also you should remember. If you try to run it, it will create the compile time error. So in simple, what is the local variable is? It is used inside the method for temporary purpose. So you may think what we are going to gain using these many different types of variables. In real Java project, we may have thousands of thousands of variables. If that is the case, for all the variables, if you keep on using as an instance, then the memory will be totally wasted. One such example is static. The value is common. So only once if you declare, we can save the memory. And like calculating the salary, that method we are not going to use daily. Once in a month only we are going to call. So all the variables we declared inside that creating a salary method, it will be executed once in a month. So rest of the time it will not be loaded. Due to the proper utilization of this variable will definitely improve the performance of the application. Because if you want to understand the performance, what you can do is, one minute, what you can do is very simple. Just open like 10 Chrome browser, you will RAM process will increase. After that, you will get non-responding error. So this is one such example. Memory of RAM is very important while we are designing the particular project, Java project. In automation, when we create big frameworks, again, it plays an important role. So that's about the types of variables. Okay. Everyone clear? Team, Zoom team, and also YouTube team. That's clear. Shall we move on to, okay, that's great. You can message me. Fine. So let's move on to the next topic, that is Java user input. Why we didn't learn this in the starting is, you can see this syntax. This is nothing but just now we learned this concept in the object creation. So usually I will teach this before control statement. Let's learn it now, and I'll show in one or two programs how to declare or how to use this direct concepts. Okay, fine. 1 minute. Let's try to, in the control statement, let me create a class Java user input. Okay. So till now, what we are doing was, if you see this program, if statement, here we are hard coding it. Here we are hard coding it. When I want to run for the next example, I have to change this. Next set of value, I have to change it. Again, same here. So I have to keep on change this particular input value. So this we are hard coding, or we are giving it directly in the code. So whenever someone say hard coding, the meaning is we are directly using it in the code. That's the literal meaning. Now, using this particular concept, using the Java user input, using the scanner class, we can able to get the input during the runtime. So like you go to an ATM, it is asking, no, it is saying, please insert your card, please enter your 4-digit PIN. So these are all like Java user inputs as scanner class. That's how it will work. It is asking some data from us. So that concept only we are going to learn it. So remember one word, it is scanner class. So inside the scanner class, we have all the methods which are necessary to get user input, because we have string value, we have float, we have integer, like that we have different data types. According to that, respective method needs to be chosen. So this scanner class already providing all these methods. Whenever you want to use method inside a particular class means we have to create the object of the class and use any method available found in the scanner class documentation. What that means? So first, this is to get the input dynamically. Get the input from user during runtime. That is runtime means after clicking on run. So first we have to create the object for scanner class. The class name itself scanner, and any object name I will put here cn equal to new scanner class constructor. So the constructor is again divided into two types. One is default constructor, another one is parameterized constructor. This and all we will see it in the advanced concept. So as of now, it's a parameterized constructor. Inside that you have to give system.in. So this is a syntax. This is how you have to give. And when we type this first time, it will ask us import scanner. So whenever you get a lot of suggestion to import a package or class, remember you first preference should go to java.util if it's in Java topic. For Selenium, that's a different package. always first preferences java.util. So we created the instance of the class. Just now we learned this concept, that is to create, to access the instance variable, class name, object name equal to new class name constructor. Same way, now all these method available in the scanner class. So scanner class object name equal to new scanner class constructor, but it is having some value system.in. You must give like this. Now you can able to see the available method here. See, lot of methods which is already coded inside the scanner class. You can see a very big list. Next, next int, next float, next string, short. We have a big range here. Let's see with some example. If you want to understand what are all methods and implementation means, press Ctrl key in your keyboard and mouse over above that class. You have open declaration. You can see here all the this is how many lines of code, like 3000 lines of code. If you want to explore, you can go and explore, but all the methods and its implementation inside this class. Okay, first example, let's try to get the first character. Okay, let's go to the string, because string is the most used one. Let us getting string data from user. It's a string data type. And one good programming practice is try to use some default message, like asking some information to us, like enter the name. So this will help you to understand, like during runtime, it is waiting for our input. If we are not giving like this, we may not know that program is running or not. Just like that, you go and put your ATM card, it is not saying anything, means you may think what is happening then, right? So you should know some user input. It should ask, okay, now enter your PIN. Then only you will understand, okay, it's working as expected. In that sense, just I'm giving enter the name. Now let's try to get the string using this object dot, how to get us next line. So next line is a method used to get the values from a user during runtime of string data type. So string data type means within the double quote. So if you want to print this, you can save it to a variable. So what this means, during runtime, it will get it. And if you want to print after entering the value, you can do that. Like the name of the person is. I'm trying to print what we are entering in the output. So this will get our data during runtime and printing it. So there is no hard coding here. Or else what we have to do, we have to give like string name equal to like this we will be giving it, right? So this is the hard coding way. Now I'm saying don't use this. Especially it is always best to go like this. See, enter the name. So, and you can see this place, it's still in red color. It means execution is in progress. Now, Vinoth. And you can see the color, it's in green color. It means during runtime, we entered the value Vinoth. And then what happened? Automatically, when we enter here, 1 minute. Okay. When we enter here, nothing but this method. This is the one asking whatever the value you are entering, it will be saved to the variable name. Then wherever you use this variable name, you can see that value. So it is Vinoth. So this is, so what to remember here is 2 point. This is a mandatory step. Create the object instance for scanner class. Remember that. And what is the method to get the string data is next line. First join. Everyone clear? Zoom team, just text me and the YouTube. Let me know. Okay, perfect.
Vinoth, so next line is an inbuilt function in
Yes.
Java.
Yes, in the in specific you can tell inside the scanner class.
Okay.
So that you will remember that. Wait. I will be teaching one by one. First, let me know whether you understood this or not, Praveen.
Okay. Clear.
So now first one is over. Second one. To get the input. Okay, now integer input. So how to get the integer? Let's see. So this one for string, that is next line. Now one more example, maybe enter the age of the person. What I was saying initially is if you are not giving this one and run means, I'm just executing. And see, it is waiting for our input. So we may not know whether what is happening, whether the program is executing or not. For this reason only, I'm asking everyone to give this particular, see here. Now it's working. So it is always, it's not mandatory. It's a good coding practice. Same here, enter the age of the person. Again, int age equal to scn dot next next int. Same way you can see for byte, short, like that. So next int means whatever data you are giving, that will be considered as an integer. And in the place of int, if you give a string means, then it will throw the exception. So don't do such stuff. This is to get the integer. This is out. Just display the age of the SMS. Okay. And see, it's all in the brown color. It means it's a local variable. So green color during runtime, it is getting values from during runtime from the user and saving it a variable and using it for manipulation. Then now float input. Okay, maybe enter the cost or salary, something. Float salary equal to scn dot next float. Same way for byte and rest of the stuff. This is how. Yes, let's try to execute this first. Then something like, so you know here you don't need to mention f and all, automatically it will consider as a float. One more time, if I execute, give some value, even if you're not giving dot and all, automatically the value is considered as a float. Now comes the assignment. So when you submit this program, what I have already taught you, the most used one, that is string, integer and float. Now, how will you get the character value from the user? how to get character, nothing but char data type from the user. So this is the assignment. You have the, so when you submit it, first maybe you can Google it, you have a lot of answers. Just implement. Example, maybe initial of the person, something like that. Like that, you can think about it. So this is an assignment. So while submitting this program, make sure what it should be. It should be handled for get character. These three also you have to code it in addition to that character. How to get character during the runtime. So that's for the assignment. Everyone clear about the assignments? Zoom team and understood this concept, right? Okay, fine. Generate thumbs up. Same way, if I want to implement this code in the our programmers, it's very easy. Maybe just I'll go with few examples. So this is like an hard coding, right? So what here I can do is again create the object instance. Then okay, then it's very easy. You can of course it's a good practice like enter the age. Now age equal to here scn dot next int semicolon. So during runtime, this will ask. Again, same story here. Sys out, enter the marks. Once if you create more than enough, next int. So both are integer. If we execute this program, enter the age. Maybe I'll put like 60. 60 is a major age. It will come here, it will validate, and first scenario it will go. Now it came for the next program. Enter the marks, maybe 96. So it will check for this scenario, this scenario. When it comes for here, it will match for both. 96 is greater than or equal to 90. So 96 is the merit mark. This is how in actually while doing for automation, this is a Java concept, but remember in the automation, in our automation script, never use this concept. This is only for knowledge purpose, or it's again a good interview question. They will ask, how will you give the Java user input during runtime? The easiest answer is we have to use the scanner class. With that, you can stop it. And if they ask specifically about string int float means next int, next line, next float, like that, you can tell. Always while answering to someone, don't use the syntax. Definitely, while explaining the syntax, you may do mistake. That's the first point. Remember it. And one thing which I want to say, and why we should not use it in automation scripters. Automation means there should not be any human intervention. So in between the program asking something from a user means that's not a right concept. It is again a contradict to the automation. We will execute all 100 test cases and we'll do other work. So at that time, no intervention should happen. So then how about this will be handled in automation as these values we will pass it from the test data, that is from the Excel sheet or from the database. So you no need to worry about it. So that's about the Java user input. So in case of any doubt, let me know. So this is also done. Initial plan is to start Selenium today. I thought the feed break one for Java, one for Selenium may not sound good. So next week we will start the Selenium, but still we have some topic we can learn that because we will use this concept in some advanced Selenium concept. Better we will focus that. What is the topic is Java arrays. Okay, 1 minute here. No questions. That's great. Java arrays. Till now, if you have seen all the program, one variable equal to one value. This is what we are using it. If you want to declare 10 values means what is the obvious concept is variable 1, variable 2, num1, num2, num3, num4, num10. This is how we will be doing it. That is again, you're wasting a lot of variable names and values. That issues can be easily, not issue, that concept can be easily implemented with the help of Java arrays. So the old tradition way is one variable, one value. This is like an upgradation. The upgradation here, what it says is in one variable, in one variable, we can save 10 values. 10 values in sense, but one point to remember here is all the 10 values must be of same data type, like all integer value or all float value or all string value. So please make sure that one mistake you should not repeat it. In Java, while using Java arrays, only same data type values needs to be used. The old tradition method is one variable, one value. Now this is like an upgradation for easy memory management. In just one variable, you can use many values. So Java array is an object which contains element of similar data type. Just now I said like multiple values we can use, but similar, either all value string or all integer or all float. First point. And it is used to store multiple values in single variable instead of declaring as separate variables for each value. So one variable, each value like that. Instead of doing that way, what you can do in single variable, you can able to save or store multiple values we discussed. And we can store only fixed set of element in Java array. Remember, this is the most important point. In sense, if you are going to save 10 values, you have to tell in advance 10 memory allocation you save for this 10 values. Sometimes you can save one value, sometimes 5 value, or sometimes 10 value, but you should tell in advance to the program like the size needs to be initially properly mentioned, or else it will throw the exception. And if you try to save 11th value means it will not allow, it will throw the exception. So it we can store only fixed set of elements, or in other word, we have to properly tell what is the size memory of the Java array. And very another important is it is again the index based. Java array in Java is an index based. Yesterday only I said if it is an index, it starts from 0. So always count starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So the total here, the array length is 10. Remember, the start index starts from 0 and count starts from 1. If you tell what is the length means, totally we can able to save 10 elements, 10 Java elements, 10 Java values, but index it starts from 0. So this is about the theory part. And why we have to use this. What is the biggest advantages? Code optimization and random access. Here, if you see in the tradition way, one variable, one value, like that, multiple variable, multiple values, such a very complicated way, which we can use it just one variable, multiple value. It makes code optimized. And also because of that, we can able to retrieve, sort, play with some data stuff. And when you want to go and pick some value, it can be randomly accessed, not like one by one in a sequential way. Just imagine you have like thousands of 10,000 data. In normal way, you have to go sequentially, but using array directly mentioning the index means in between those range of 1,000 data, it will go and directly pick it. So that is what the best thing about the Java arrays. And as I already said, before execution itself, we have to tell the how many size of data we will use it. So that is one drawback, because you said I'm going to save like 10 names, for example, but you're just saving only one name means rest of the 9 memory or that locations are wasted. So that is one drawback. And okay, what if I want to add 11th name? That is not possible. So this is the disadvantage of Java array. So if not all the array elements are used, then waste of memory space. This example. If the number of elements to be stored are more than the maximum size, array cannot accommodate those new values. That is, saving 11th value, it will not allow. So this falls under the drawback. So to avoid this issue only, again, the most advanced concept, Java collection. We will not see that. But in that, during runtime, we can able to add n number of data. No need to worry about sizes. And then two types of Java arrays. One is single dimensional array, another is multi-dimensional. As of now, we will focus on single dimensional array. Multi-dimensional rows and columns are too advanced for us. It's not like we must learn that. So let's try to see some example. 1 minute. Is there any query? Let me check it out. Okay. Let's see some practical stuff. At the end, if you have any doubt, we can discuss on it. So this is the examples. In one line, we can able to declare size, values, variable. What I will do, first I will try to split that into 3 steps and teach you. Try to understand the concept of Java array. Then at the end, the alternative way how we can able to do it, I will tell you. First one. First is to create array. That is nothing but declaring. So the syntax is data type, array name, and this is how variables are declared. But here the square bracket will be mentioned. Whenever you see square bracket, see here also, this is something related to array. So it means it's an array. One small example, maybe like we are going to say list of integer. So in data type, num, you can give like this, that's fine. But as a programmer, we have a common way to communicate, like in front of every variable. This is not a rule, but this is a good programming practice. We will mention ARR. So someone reads your code, they can understand, okay, this particular variable is specifically for array. So ARR, and you can name whatever the particular functionality and square bracket. ARR is not the syntax or rule, but it's just a good programming practice. So create array. And second step, define the arrays. That is allocate memory. How to do it? So array num equal to new, and we have to tell the size. it's going to be a integer data type and like maybe 4 values. That's okay. I'll put the syntax. Here array name equal to new data type size. So if you mention like this, then the meaning is you can able to totally you can able to save 4 values. Remember, it starts from 0. Third step, assign the values. How to do is the array variable name is arr_num. So within the square bracket at index 0, 10. At index 1, 20. At index 2, 30. At index 3, 40. Remember, it starts from 0. So this means total number, the size of the array. Total size is 4. 4 values we are saving. And it starts from 0. Array 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how an array is declared. It's now I can convert this into a single line, but still remember, first we have to declare the variable name, memory size, and the value. Now let's try to access this. Accessing is very easy. We have to access through the index number. So arr_num, if you mention the index 2, it will display what is the value in the index 2. It is 30. So through the index only we can able to access it. Now the same program I can use alternative way. How to do is in array num2 square bracket equal to within the curly braces I can give value 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, semicolon. So automatically during runtime it will fix the size, the variable, and it's an array. So all these 3 lines we can these 3 steps we can make it like this also. Mostly in the in your framework and all, this is how they will use it. Don't get confused. The meaning is this only: variable name, size, and total value. Now let's try to print all the array values. So here quite different for loop. Usually for means 3 things will be there: initialization, condition, increment or decrement. But for array, you no need to worry about this increment and all. Automatically it will try to read one by one. So it is for each, we used to say. For in initialization, maybe arr, then condition, those stuff. Rather than that, what you can do is colon, what is the particular array name. This is like IJK, it can be any name, and this is the array name. So in sense, it will go and iterate in this particular array num one by one. First, it will iterate because array itself, it can understand it starts from 0. So what is the value in 0, 1, 2, 3. So till how many values you declare, automatically it will try to access. Once the value is not available, it will come out of the loop. Let's try to print out when index is 0, 1, 2, 3. So automatically it will happen in the backend. Let's try to execute. So it started from here: 10, 20, 30, 40. This is how we can able to print the values of arrays. This is totally new way, but for array we have to give like this only: the initialization, and after that colon directly give the array name. It's like in this variable for each means inside this, what is the first value, second value, third value, fourth value, like that it will keep on check it. That's the first thing. Now, by chance, if you try to access out of range, it till 3 only there. If you put 4 also, it will throw error 5, 6. If you're trying to access memory sixth one, but it is till 3 means, then you will get a famous exception, array index out of bound exception. You can note it down. This is another famous interview question. What is array? Or they will say like you're trying to access a value which is higher than their size, means what exception you will get it means. It is array index out of bounds exception. You have to tell. They will not tell this in exception name and ask for the reason. You have to remember quite lengthier name, but remember index, array index out of bounds exception. So here itself it will tell it is length 4 only, but you're trying to go for 6, which is not possible. So it will throw the exception. Handling the exception on the next topic I will teach. But this is this error, this particular error message we will get in automation also. In UFT and all, most of the time we will use array concept. In framework level, we will use array concept if it is a created very long back means. Remember something, a problem with the memory allocation. So you have to go and check the size of it. Nowadays, the latest frameworks are created using the Java collections. So we will not face this issue. But again, you must remember this particular error message. Okay, you see that. Same way, I will teach one more example for more clarity. What we have seen is for integer data type. Let's try to create for string data type. Now let me follow this way and I will ask you a question. Make sure you have to answer it. Just understand the concept again. Array name equal to within the curly braces. So this is how. Here I'm going to give a value. If it is an integer, I give directly the number. If it is a string, I have to give with the double quotes. Okay. Okay. Something like 4 values randomly I have chosen. What? So if I want to access, I have to access through the index. So array name, if I mention index 3, what will maybe, okay, 2. What will be the output? Just reply in chat, not as voice, reply in chat. What will be the output if I access index 2, array index 2? If you answer this, this is like an exit test. You understood array concept, but you must answer. Even YouTube guys can answer it. One wrong answer. I am trying to access only one value. The index is 2. So what is that value? 2 wrong answer. 1% corrected. I think in YouTube, 1 wrong answer. Okay. Anyhow, yes. So most of the answer is correct. The answer is now. Okay, I am talking about array name. Array name. This one. In that, you're talking about index 2. we already know index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the basic, fundamental. If that is the case, 0, 1, 2, 3. What is the index I am trying? It is 2. 2 means it's Prana. So everyone answered correctly. Satish, it's impossible. If you said Anand, that also makes sense because usually we will count from 1 means the answer Anand is something. If someone tells Anand means they missed that index concept, but Satish is totally wrong. And array out of index, that is also wrong because here till you have 0, 1, 2, 3 we mentioned. If you try to access array of 4 only, we will get that array outbound of exception, something like that. So let me try to run this program. Okay, first let me comment this code. The output is Prana. When I try to access 4, see what it is saying, index 4 out of bound for the length 4. It means what? You are saying fourth A of 4 means, but it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Till 3 only we can able to access it. After 4, there is no value. So you will get the exception. So if you mention 3, it will be sufficient. So I hope everyone clear about this particular array index concept, especially while accessing. You must follow this concept. Even this program also we can able to print using the for loop array name, right? ARR name. Here, same variable name, no problem. The scope is only within this condition for loop method. It is printing, starting from Vinoth on and Pranav and Satish. Yes, alternative way. Just now I said right. All these 3 step we can make it like this alternative way. So during runtime it will count and allocate it accordingly. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is fixed. While accessing only, while during runtime, if you want to update something, then that will be a problem. Something like so you're trying to update this during runtime. Let's see what is the third value. So what literally happened here is, maybe I'll put this here. Again, one more concept based on your query. See, till now we learned declaration, the size and all. Now this is updating the array value. We already know it can accommodate 0, 1, 2, 3. If you're so during runtime, what I'm saying, in this place, you put this value means it will be replaced. Then I'm trying to access at the 2, it will be Praveen. At the 3, it will be Kumar. This is acceptable. But if you mention 4 here, then problem will come. This is what the drawback of array. Because I already said what is the biggest drawback here is, now you see the slide. If the number of elements to be stored are more than maximum size, then the array cannot accommodate those new values. In other words, during runtime, you want to add something beyond the size of that, then it will throw the exception. Sure, let me execute. See, it is throws the exception. Totally, maybe I will put like 6. Only 4 values you can save, but you're going for at position 6. So this is not acceptable. That's the literal meaning here. So this is the drawback during runtime. So in the starting itself, you must have a clear idea or understanding about how array works. First, takeaway point. First takeaway point is array starts with the index 0. At any cost, you should not forget this. Whenever in all the programming language this is applicable, it will start with index, or it will works on index based concept. Whenever we say index, it will start from 0. It is applicable for all the programming language. And then code optimization, just in one line, you code optimization, see, just in one line you made it happen. And then random access, what that mean? I'm trying to access randomly. It's not like one by one, it just go and directly pick it up and give me the data. And maybe in this example I used like 4 or 5 values. Just imagine you have like thousands of values, means then it will happen just like that. That's one thing. And a drawback, size limit, fixed size data. One drawback, if I am not utilizing it, maybe for I'm just utilizing one value, means it is again waste of memory. And trying to access above that during runtime, then also it's a problem. So this is the drawback in Java array. To solve this problem only, Java collections came into the picture, like hash map, hash tree, so many advanced concepts. So that's not the scope right now. So that's about the array. And I hope till now everyone clear, right? Till now, you can.
Vinod, I have one question, Vinod.
Yeah, please tell me.
In the alternate way, where we are directly passing the values to the array, we haven't defined the size.
It is take
No,
it is within the curly braces, right? So it will take count of it automatically.
Okay.
That is why you can give like this. This is the old way. Now you can give like this also. But one thing, you should not forget the square bracket. If you are forgetting the square bracket, it will consider as a variable, single variable. Remember, that's the only difference. This square bracket means it's an array, but it needs to be given within the curly braces. Is that clear, sir?
Yes, Vinod.
Perfect. So now, I mean, I have to check YouTube, guys. Are you clear? Or till now? I'm clear now. So that I can teach you few array methods and one more famous interview question. Nowadays, they are not that much asking. Okay. Some array methods. Let me check the comments. Waiting for YouTube guys to reply. I will assume you all understood. Okay. String, we are okay. We want to check whether a particular value is present or not. Value is present or not. Come on. So maybe array name. I want to check whether a particular name is available or not. If I check available or not, is there or not, means definitely that's going to be a Boolean output. It has nothing but true or false. Let's put it. Okay. First, we have to convert that to, okay. It's going to be a Boolean output, word or name, whatever it is, equal to arrays dot as list. Again, it means this value will be converted into list. List means it in like a square bracket, like one by one, it will store it as list, just particular one. So within the square bracket, it will be there. And then print, let me try that. So then dot whether it contains, you can tell any name, maybe contains arrow semicolon so word. So this is a separate one. This concept only I have implemented here. So there is no Arun here. We are checking whether Arun is available or not. I already said no, first it will convert to list. So what literally happening is this code. This code only I printed here. So all these values are converted to list. If it is a list, again, it has its own advantage. Trying to find the value is very easy. I am using the method contains. Whether it contains arrow, no, it is not contains arrow. It's a boolean, so the output is false. By chance, if I change some other value, maybe Anand. Now, if we execute, it will be true because Anand is available inside this. This is one simple method, especially you want to find one or two values, then you can use this concept. Again, the string method, yesterday we missed that split method, that one. So here I will give one string like welcome to Java class. Java is easier to learn. I love Java. Thank you. This is one interview question, guys. You have to find the total number of Java in this particular string. So what exactly, so the answer is using the split method. Split method only we are going to see. Anyhow, I have to reveal the answer. Then only you will understand this. So what the split method will do is, it will try to split based on what you are going to tell. Maybe 1 minute. Let me leave this. I will ask that as an interview question. Let me teach you concept. Let me see how many of them able to answer this. Credit card. No. Just imagine for now, it's going to be a string data type. So you have a requirement. You have to get the credit card during runtime and save each 4 digit to different places. So what you can do, you have to split this, right? So you are splitting with this one. Let me code it and then explain. String array CC credit card number within the square bracket equal to this credit card number dot split. So split using the what? You're trying to split using with the column. When you do that, what literally happens is, since it's an array concept, it will try to split with this. Okay. If that is the case, then it will be saving in 0, 1, 2, 3. That's the use of array concept, because you are saving multiple values in single variable. Let's try to print it out using a for loop. I will do it. String IARR colon ARR CC. Within this, we have it IARR. Now see, all the four values splitted, and it got splitted using this particular sign, that is this particular sign. So what happened? It got splitted and saved here. If you want to access, this meaning is 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's the meaning. And see here, you're trying to split. So you can able to split some input string with the help of any character. It may be, it depends upon the requirement. I gave one simple example to understand the meaning of split method. The example is, we have a 16-digit credit card number. I'm trying to split it into, like my requirement is save it as a 4 places. So I'm splitting using this symbol so that all 4 where it is splitted and saved into this particular variable. Then I can save it wherever I want or use it wherever I want. Everyone understood split method, because the next one is the most complicated interview question. Everyone understood? You can use any character, single character, word, it's up to you. It based on the input, only you can decide it. So based on the requirement, so based on the question, interview question, you have to use your, first they will ask split means you're going to try to split based on some special character or based on the value. But mostly they will not ask like that. I will give you a question. Whenever you go to big companies, you will be asked like 2 to 3 questions only. With that, they will decide, are you a good candidate or not? Now, if you answer this, you are clearing an interview, or else you can understand how tough the interview point of view it will be. I will show all these methods. Length means total number of length, many methods there. The split only we are checking out. Here, there's a program. We want to find total number of Java located or Java occurred in this program using here Java, right? Yes, it's a Java. Maybe, yeah, let me put Selenium. So it's very easy. If it is a simple text like this, you can count and tell. What if you have 1,000 words? How will you find number of Selenium words in this syntax? So this is the question. This is how the question they will ask. First of all, you should tell if we can use it using the split method. Then how will you split? Now just you think it for, yes, we can use split. If you are not to say, if first it strikes split means half of the interview is 10, then now what is the programming concept you will understand, they will check it out. Okay, what is the special character you will use here to split? Just reply me the answer. What I mean is, like, I'll just write a program of it. String, maybe array words equal to message star split. So here, what will you give? If you tell split, you are good. Let me see. Everyone will tell that one answer. Very wow. One person perfectly said the answer. YouTube guys can try it. Even you can take 2 minutes time. It's a very worth question to understand how the interview will be like in terms of Java stuff, not like direct questions. Two of them, right? Achala, Praveen, right? Good. What about YouTube guys? Anyone? Ravi saying space. Anil saying selenium. Okay, good. So space, let's see how many of them going with space and how many of them going with selenium. Space is also correct, selenium is also correct. But let's wait. How many percentage proportion goes space versus selenium? Why, Anil? You want to move to space again when you're in selenium? The interviewer know that everyone will tell space. Because, now you have to understand one thing. For every question, there may be multiple answers. But as a programmer, which one reduce the complexity, reduce the number of lines? Let's say it. What is the problem if we go with space? If we go with selenium, that no use of explaining. I will show you the as a program. Then only you'll get it. Words. If you split with, maybe I'll put this here. Okay. Number of words, spaces. My question is not number of words. I said very clearly, I want to find the total number of selenium occurred. So if you go with space, you're getting like this. It's again correct. Now you have to write one more for loop. You have to count whether the array of 0. So one more for loop inside this, whether that is equal to selenium. If it is equal to selenium, increase the count by 1. Like that, you can do it. At the end, you can tell. This is the one approach, but very big lengthier process because you're using one more for loop. You're trying to compare it with one word. Again, what if you have like lakhs of words? Very complicated process. So what if you split with selenium? See that how the complexity reduce here. It got splitted with selenium. So it means this one, this one, this one, and this one. So one, if you see the output, it is 0, 1, 2, 3. That's how we are getting it. In sense, after this, if you want to find exactly what is the count means, this out message. If okay, now next question. What is the method used to find the total count of the element? What is the method? String method is available. Reply for that. What is the string method available? Yesterday I taught you. By chance, if you remember, just ping me. What is the method used to find that? Yesterday, like 16-digit number. Yes, one person pinged me to write. It's nothing but length. Now what I'm doing here is total occurrence of just total occurrence of selenium equal to, so this particular in this words dot length -1. So it is 3. Everyone understood what is the industrial expectation and why they are paying highly for developers. So what literally happened here is, let me 1 minute. Let me put this right up. Okay. Now let me draw it. See here. What happened is you're trying to split with Selenium. This is how it is splitting. If you see here, it got splitted like this one, this one, this one, this one. And remember, when you try to split with that, it will save from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, because you're trying to split with Selenium. So when you go with the count, you will get 4, but it starts from 0. Usually it will be the last one, it will not be there because you're splitting with Selenium. So here it will not be there. So 1 place, 2 place, 3rd place. In 3 places only it will be there. The last one it will not be. That's why length -1. So in this concept, how can I validate a candidate? Even I used to ask this question. First thing, the person know how to use the method. Here, what are all the method? One is split method, another one is length method. It means, okay, know all about string methods. Second thing, whether is a good coder or not is just by understanding the concept of split with the help of Selenium. Mostly everyone, what they will say space. That is the very, most of them will say space. I will use for loop. I will go for the counter. I will try to count each word. I will compare it and then finally give the values. That's also correct, but it's too complicated rather than you split with Selenium. So when you say split with Selenium, you are directly clearing that Java part, string part. So this is how the expectations from the industry. So direct questions will never work out. So if I show every code, if you just go through that without coding means you can't do it. Always try to code every syntax and remember it. What is the use of every method? So don't try to by heart it. If you by heart it, if you get any program, you can't answer it. So how to answer when someone asks question like this means, we may have multiple solution for this particular program. As of now, this is a solution striking for me. So what I will do is I will go with first with try to split with Selenium and then try to find the length -1. Some of them will forget -1. We will not okay, that's a fine one. But split with Selenium means you no need to use the for loops. I hope by now everyone understood about the interview process. This is how we will be doing it. Everyone clear about Java arrays? So we are done with this one pending method also. Nowadays, these questions are replaced with Java from arrays to array list. They are moving it. I will share those interview questions. Actually, it is already in the Canvas portal. Separate file. It will be for Java list concept. Now you don't see it. After completing advanced Java, I will give like 1 day session on Java list. Then you go and see the interview question. Then only you will feel it easy, or else you lose your confidence. And types of Java, again, single dimensional, multi-dimensional. Maybe once we complete each module, we will discuss on that interview question module by module in a separate time. So till now, we are done with the important stuff. So till now, everyone clear? Shall we move on to the next topic? So next topic. See, this is what I was saying. Java collections. So we have it. It's all used in the framework level. I will teach you only some specific topic, because if you want to learn this Java collection separately, it is equivalent to learning 10 more days. It's like a paper in master's degree. We will see only what is very necessary or highly used concept in the framework. Now the next topic, we have 30 more minutes. With this, we will complete some Java part 1. Then from next week, we will start the Selenium. So exception handling. Just now we saw some exception like index out of bound exception. So what problem will happen if we get the exception? Let me show with the example. Then you will understand. Class exception sample. And try to get printout of all the interview questions. You can't learn in just one day. Like you have no need to by hearted. Module wise, when I complete, I will tell from which question to another question. That is the way you have to tell in interview, because if you already know some programming language, explaining code is very easy. But this is the first time means in that I have clearly mentioned what are all the keywords to use it. If you tell those keywords, more than enough. Okay, let's go to exception handling. What is an output if we delete a number by 0? Any idea? Can message me. If you divide a number by 0, what will be the output? Zoom team, you can reply just like that. I'm asking the output. You're saying some answer which is not even similar to that. Oh no. Different answer. Is it possible to divide a number by 0? Mathematics, school max? Not possible. It's an infinite, right? Any number you divide by 0 is called as infinite. In school time, we used to say that like this. Infinite. You can't divide a number by 0. But there are some, okay, sometimes an user want to try to divide a number with a proper value. After that, this line executed. Just understand the impact what it will create in the program. This is a positive scenario. 10 divided by 2, 5. You will get output 5. After that, it will move on to line 9. Just understand why we have to learn exception. So it is working. Sometimes, yes, I think someone arithmetic expression, Anil, everyone correct. Great job, guys. What if we divide by 0? Of course, it will be 0 without any doubt. Insert. Divided by 0, it will be an exception, infinite. And if I run, initially it printed line 9. See the difference. What happened? You got an exception, arithmetic exception. It is saying, Java is saying, you can't divide a number by 0. It's an exception. So that's the first observation. We already know we will get an exception. Leave about what type of exception. You will get an exception. That's understand. Whether line 9 is executed or not. Tell me yes or no. Line 9 executed. Yes, no, no. So what if an exception if we get during the automation program, because we are going to execute 100 test case continuously, suddenly one exception comes, then the execution will stop. It means it will not go to the test case 2, test case 3, test case 4. So the impact it is creating is very high in terms of execution, in terms of automation. So we must properly handle the exception. Then only, in case of any like array out of index or some null pointer or some arithmetic, we have so many types of exceptions. If we face it, it will handle it and just move on to the next line. So that's why we are learning this topic. Why we have to learn handling exception is practical problem is when you get exception, the execution will stop. It means our automation will not go to the next one. So that's the biggest problem. So let's try to learn handling those exceptions. Okay, if I get some exception, I don't know what is the meaning of that. That is totally a new exception. Means no worries. Just copy this and 1 minute in Java. Google it. You will get the solution. You can go and read it. See, it is saying throw when exception has occurred. For example, divide by 0, which is not possible. And sometimes when you will be Googling it, always go to the Stack Overflow. This is like mother of all the websites. So any issues in the entire world, they will first come to the Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow will have the solution for all the issues. So you can come and then try to implement one by one. You can see here voting maximum mode, try to go implement such solution. Definitely you will be facing a lot of issues during coding. So what you have to do is first preference go to the Stack Overflow. Second preference go to the official website. So Java is done by the Oracle. It belongs to Oracle. They will have some solution. Go with it. But Stack Overflow, all the developers will answer that in with some example. It will be easy for us to understand. Let's try to handle it. How can you handle? It's very easy using try catch. First one. First one is arithmetic exception. So we all understood why we are learning something, because it will stop the execution. Int a equal to, let's always first go with some easier example. Just to make it easy, I'm using a, b, I, j, k and all. But in real time, please don't use this variable name, which is not at all recommended. Give a proper naming convention. Now try. You're going to try that formula a/b. You're dividing it. A by b means, maybe let's put some positive scenario first, then exception scenario. Here, trying to display that output. This will work without issue. Sometimes if we give 0 only, it's going to solve it's going to create an exception. We have to handle it. So try catch. You're going to try something, then it will trigger some exception, then it will catch and we can handle it. So if you see exception, you have a lot of things: arithmetic, array store, class. See here, exception. It's all exception. We can't learn everything. It's not possible. Maybe if you get anything, Google and do it. But for interview purpose, I will teach some 4 exception. First one is arithmetic exception, give any variable where it will save. It can be any variable. I am giving ERRRE curly braces. You can suss out. You can give message like don't divide number by 0. Suss out. If you want error message, error messages. In this variable, it will be saved in E that you can print it out. This is a positive scenario. If we execute, what will happen? First, it will declare and come to try 10 by 5, 2. It will display. It's all positive. There is no chance for exception and came out of it. This line is executed. Now, if I put 0, it will not work. It will throw the exception and see the what happened. It just came here. 10 divided by 0, it's an exception. So what happened after this, it came to catch because we mentioned handle the, so developer will know in advance what type of exceptions we will be getting. Sometimes if you don't know, we will just put exception E during runtime, then we will try to consolidate all the exception and you can add multiple catch. That's also possible. So here it handled something. We will see what is that and then see the program didn't stop. This line is executed. It means without program is getting stopped, it is going in a sequential way. This is what we needed in the automation. Some web element may not be there. Suddenly it will throw exception, web element not found. The program will stop. In one page, you will have 100 web element. Then imagine 100 test case. What will happen if you keep on getting an exception? Then comes the issue. So now we will see what is the log here. Double click. This is the message we gave. Don't divide. We can give any message. So user can understand, okay, I should not divide. And what is that error message? This is the error message. If you remember previously, we got it in red color, like Java and arithmetic by 0. And so many logs we got it. That is the one, it is saved in E and we got that particular exception. It can be any variable name. You have to save those logs. That's the syntax. It can be anything. You can put ERR, you can put anything. Or log A, B, C. I use E or ERR. You can put ERRs, error. That's also fine. It will tell exactly what is the error message. So this is the simplest understanding about the exception. When we use exception, first point, it will not stop our program. It will continue. First type of exception. Now second exception. Just now we saw array index out of bounds exception. Okay. Let me code it. Index num. Okay. You can give any value or directly, okay, let me say like new int 5. You're declaring something till 5 values, like length of an array is 5. Now what you're trying is you're trying to update some value, maybe at 3, some 100, and trying to print out, trying to access something. This will work because within the limit catch, let me go. So just now we saw index out of bound exception. Mention the values within the array size limit, something. Okay, this is a positive scenario. It will work 100. It is updated, so no problem. What if I want to update at like 8 to 1, which is out of bound? It will throw an exception. You can't update the value. So, and see what happened. It tried it. So index, array index out of bound exception, index 8 out of the bounds length 5, and mention the values within the. So I'm just giving some additional information to the user, like do it properly. So this is a sort of exception. Just now we saw arithmetic exception, so you know the meaning of all these things. How to handle is using try and catch. Then third one, number format exception. So there are some user want to type some text in place of number. At that time you will get this exception. So you're trying to get two numbers and add it. So I will make this program a little bit complicated using the old concept. That is whatever I taught now. System.in. Okay. This is the previous topic explanation. Your size is 5. Size is 5 means we already just now we saw this example. To maximum of 5 values only you can able to access it or save it. Then during runtime you're trying to update at 8th position, which is will create the index out of bound exception. Still you are not getting, please watch this again, this particular topic again, then only you will get it. Because this is, you have a limit of 5 and you know how to try for 8 to 1 to update means it will not work. Sometimes you may not get it on the live, so just rewatch it again. It will be easy for you to understand the concept. So, okay, read the two numbers. But okay, in order to create this exception, I have to code like this only, no other code. Next line. So you know very well this next line means what? It will try to get the input from the user in the form of string. Just now we saw. So two string values you're getting, yes, one, yes. Then what you're trying to convert this to integer. We already used. Why is too much complication? But see, I'm just revising yesterday topic to convert string to integer. Percent is to now. So what is the C plus D? Catch number format exception. Okay, I will explain this. 1 minute. When this will get the input dynamically, and you are giving two number, maybe 10, 15. Maybe during runtime we are getting from some place, means we will get it as a string. So we are saving it here. You can get it in int also, that's fine. But we can't able to retrieve this error. That's why I just caught. this particular exception. If you want to get it, this is how we have to code it. But we already know this, just now we learned. And then you're passing the value S1 and S2. This string will be converted to integer 10 and 50. And when you add it, the output will be 25. It's a positive scenario. Enter two number 10, 16, 26. It's working. In place of this, if someone type instead of number, someone type like this, not a number, then you will get this error. It's a number format exception. So what is the understanding here is always we can't expect an user to type properly. Maybe leave about user. Let's take manual testing. They will do all types of testing. Boundary value analysis, invalid, so many testing technique is there to make the code to get failed. So in the place of phone number, they will try to type character. It should not allow it. If it allows, or else it should say mention the valid number or mention a proper number. So these are all the scenarios where the exceptions we will get it. So we have to use try catch for that. So whatever the exception, remember it's a try catch. Then what is the meaning of each exception? Leave about syntax. Syntax means try catch. Number divisible by 0, arithmetic exception. And value out of that array when you try to access array index out of bound exceptions. And then in the place of integer, you're trying to give string value or something else value means, then that will throw the number format exception. So this is a problem. This is a problem in real time scenario, but like this only we have to handle it. And then another famous exception, that is null pointer exception. Actually in Java, this is a special null value can be assigned to the object reference. So at that time, if any program try to attempt this particular object means, then it will throw the null pointer exception. TestNG, we will get this exception. You have a variable null. You mentioned this is a null. You should not go and disturb this. And if you try to access, if you try to do manipulate with this particular variable, it will throw the null pointer exception. Okay, if name dot equals, you're trying to check whether both of them same or not. Same. It will definitely throw exception. That exception is null pointer exception. If it is some other value, that's fine. But you are saying this object reference is null. So it means you should not go and disturb this guy. If you go and disturb it, automatically you will get the exception. Don't enter null value. Okay, let's try to execute. This is the one, error message, null pointer exception. In sense, when that is what in simple, a special value can be, the special null value can be assigned to the object reference, this one, special null value. So if that is the time when the program, when we try to attempt to use this particular object reference that has a null value, then what will happen? We will get null pointer exception. If you are not getting it now, no worries. When we do a lot of Selenium programming, at that time we will get the null pointer exception. I will show with some other examples, no worries. So in simple, to handle the exception, use try and catch. Now, one more thing, you can have multiple catch also. That's also acceptable. You can add multiple catch for one particular, that's how in real time scenario they will be coding it. So we never know what is the user will be giving the input, different types of input for a particular condition. So it should able to handle all type of exception. We can give multiple catch. That's also okay. Just I'm giving additional information. Now we have one more scenario. This scenario I can't show with the code, but I can explain the concept of it. This is widely used for DB testing. Try, catch. This is a last topic. Finally, this concept is used in database. In database also more possibilities that we will get the exception. First, you have to understand one small concept about database, especially in team. Like database means here only all the data will be saved. Everyone will try to access it and get the value manipulated. For all the database, we have DB admin. The person will have access to delete, update everything. But within the team member, we can able to access one by one. It means one active connection alone is possible. Because testing team, if we allow to do all the stuff, it will end up in big problem. We used to do a lot of database testing, but using that username password, we will connect to this and test it disconnected. So this database testing is divided into 4 steps. Any programming language, this is divided into 4 steps. What are all the 4 steps? You can tell, you no need to tell any code. One is connect to DB. Then connect to DB means with proper credential, run the query, then save the data and display or manipulate as you wish. Very important, this one, disconnect database. What is the biggest problem here is if you are not disconnecting, maybe user one connected, running some query, here some exception came, means what will happen in normal scenario, that's it. It will stop, program will stop, but still the connection will be active. It means the second user can't use it. In real time scenario, so many users we will have it. So there comes the problem. So remember, if database team is from another company, in IT, project one from Infi, one from Cognizant, one from some other company, TCS. So if you go and lock their database, they will escalate you just like that. Because that DB admin can able to see all the log who did this issue. In the log, it will be there. Then we have to drop a mail to database administrator. The person will disconnect this active connection. And then this is a process happens in database testing. One of the evergreen issues, it will happen definitely. So that we have to handle it using try catch and also finally. What is finally? Let me code it. So by now you understood how it will work. First one, we have to connect to DB and then run the query. And then this is all positive scenario. Save the data and display. If you mention after this disconnect any issue here, it will come out of it. In sense, it will not handle it. If you give it in catch, then also it's a problem. If you are not getting disconnect in catch, means if you are not receiving that exception, then also the connection will be active. It means it cannot be disconnected. So that's another problem. Now here we can have exception coding. For that exception code for database issue. So there is something called finally. This is very, very important. This code will be executed as mandatory. Definitely it will execute. Okay. Finally, block is executed. So here only we have to mention DB is this. I can put DB is disconnected for now. No problem. DB is this connected. So now let's try to execute programs. Just try catch finally. So what exactly happens in real time scenario? I'm saying you're trying something. If it is a positive, okay, it is pass. Then finally will be executed as mandatory. It means what? DB is disconnected. This finally block is executed, DB is disconnected. If it is an exception scenario, what it will happen is try will be executed, some exception came, that exception is handled, and then finally once again it will come. So finally code is executed, DB is discontinued. So in this case, whether it's a positive scenario or exception scenario, definitely the database connection will be disconnected. So this way of coding will help you to avoid some big escalation. So this is the one place I have seen it in the code automation where we will use try catch finally. So there are some places, some step it's a mandatory to do it means go with try catch finally. In Selenium also there is a one place. When time comes, I will ask as an interview question. You can tell exactly in which place we will use try catch finally. So that's about the exception. So time for query discussion. Zoom team, everyone understood why we are learning about exception? Something leave about the syntax. That's secondary. You have to rewatch it, code it, then only the syntax will sit in your mind. As of now, you all understood the concept behind each exception or not. Just reply me in chat. And same, what about the YouTube guys? Everyone understood? Okay, two of them said fine. What about the rest of them? Anyhow, after I stop streaming, we will definitely discuss if you have anything. Yes, you must go through it because the first time you guys learning. I need 100 live from YouTube so that I can end the streaming. Yes, thank you, Ravi. Thanks for replying. Yes, we can put individual catch and only for it based on the scenario, individual multiple catch according to the scenario you can put. Okay, team, that's from my side for today. Then next week we will see all the Selenium part. I think for next like 7 to 8 classes, it will be only of Selenium. So make sure your setup is ready. If you're practicing offline, try to install, and you have any issue, you can reply me in the chat or ping me during the class. So that's from my side. Thanks for attending this week. We'll see next weekend. Have a great week ahead. I'm just stopping the streaming.